stopping at 27, the westbound Empire Builder, heading all the way out to the Pacific Northwest of Seattle and Portland, by the way of Wisconsin, Minnesota, North Dakota, Montana, Idaho, Oregon, and Washington.
Okay, day one on the Empire Builder going from Chicago all the way to Seattle. There's a few people on here going all the way to Seattle, 46-ish hours, I think. And every time we mention we're going to Seattle, we get some crazed looks. It's a long time in coach. So we'll see how it goes. This is the real test to see if I'm a dream person or not. So far, so good. Alright, same bathroom as before. I was right. Empire Builder, it is a lot cleaner. Probably because, again, it's day one of a 3-day trip. But and I was on the Zephyr, day 3 of the 3-day trip. So anyway, no handle though, so I've got to die here. That's milky. Oh, this one's even got a little flower. Nice. So this is the only spot with light that I can get to. It's getting dark outside, not much to film. It's dark up in the cabin or in the seats as well. So this might be the end of day one. I'll wake up in the morning and take some more, but I think I'm going to pull out my blankets and pillow and whatever I brought and just get ready for bed. So night one in a coach seat. Let's find out how this goes. Good morning from somewhere in North Dakota. We're pretty much almost to Canada. We're going straight west out of Seattle. That's day 2 of Empire Builder. And I'm debating right now if I want to go the lounge car for breakfast, the dining car for breakfast, or eat my Pop-Tarts out of my bag. Sleeping in a coach seat is not bad. I've had worse nights of sleep, but I mean it's no like plush 4-star hotel, but here goes day 2. Train all day today. Then I'll get off till tomorrow morning when we finally get to Seattle. Every time I see something cool to film, like the GoPro doesn't turn on in time, so I miss it every time. We have an hour stop in Minot. We actually got here like a half hour early, and like I don't want to jinx it or anything. Let's keep that up. We're not scheduled to depart until 9, so an hour to just get out, stretch your legs, get some fresh air. I didn't realize how much I needed to get off the train and get some fresh air until I did. So if you ever ride this train long distance, get off at the stops when you can. It really makes a difference. It's a very long train. It took me like 4 minutes to walk by it. Hope that wasn't important. For those who've not ridden in an Amtrak seat before, this is kind of what your coach seat gets you. Tons of leg room. I can almost stretch my legs out. I am 6'3", by the way. You get these outlets there. I brought an extension cord so I can have multiple things to charge my phone, the GoPro, I mean everything I want. You do of course have your tray table. Sometimes it's kind of a pain to get back up. And yeah, this footrest. Leave it down now because it's comfortable. Also, these chairs are super far back. Pretty much asleep. Oh, there's also this footrest too. Makes it a little easier to sleep at night with. So that's kind of the coach seat. The dining car for lunch. They've been calling for wait lists and stuff, so I don't know. Maybe a party of one can get in faster. Let's find out. So yeah, dining car's hopping right now. Got my name on the list. He said check back in about an hour. I haven't heard yet, so here we go. It's a dining car post lunch, so it's a little messy. Alright, so verdict on dining car lunch is pretty good. I had an Angus burger. I think that's my new go-to, so whatever any other time we can get it, I'm going to get that. I think that's one of the standards on all the rails. I'll find out when I get to the Coast and Starlight in a couple days. It's great also, like, sitting around strangers and talking, because, like, I think everybody's kind of in agreement that, yeah, we're going to make small talk, let's just talk. So if you're awkward or uncomfortable or worried about that, which I kind of was, it's been completely fine. Everyone's very, very cool and has great stories to share. And, so it's great. Dining car's a lot of fun. It's a little pricey, but that's just part of it, I guess, part of train traveling. Oh, I'm also standing downstairs in the entryway because it's like the only spot I can sit and talk without interrupting anybody else. So. North Dakota was okay, but Montana's bad for cell phone reception. Beautiful scenery down here. I'm in the lounge car of the Empire Builder right now, and I figured I'd take this moment here while I'm somewhere in Montana to kind of explain how rail passes work. People have been asking how big the trip, what this trip is. So explain that briefly in my Chicago video if you want to go back and check that out. But basically what it is, there are different length rail passes. They got a 15-day rail pass, pretty cheap, I think under $500. Meaning you get to go 15 days kind of anywhere you want to go, up to 8 segments. And again, a segment is just from one stop to the next, wherever you get off the train at any city. When you order rail passes, you got to do a little bit of the planning kind of on your own. You got to figure out where you want to go and have to schedule it over workout. So it's kind of fun to like puzzle piece everything together. But as I was going, I had some questions and I wrote them all down and be sure to answer them all. So you might have some similar questions too. I couldn't find the answers to these anywhere online. Hopefully this might be a resource if you're thinking about doing a rail pass as well. First of all, what's the process? How do you reserve your seats? The best way I could do it was I called, during the daytime, I called Amtrak customer service and I had them help me with it. You can't do the rail pass online. I think you can order it, but then you have to pick it up. But then to be able to schedule your route, you have to have the rail pass with you. So, being where I live, I don't live near a manned Amtrak station, so it would have been a huge hassle. So I called to ask about this, and the woman on the phone says, "We're doing something for you right now." So all in one shot, she set me up with a rail pass and set up all my segments. Now, it was important that before I called, I had everything all planned out. If I didn't have it planned out, I would have been lost at that point. I would have, "I'll call you back," and get it worked out. So call an agent on the phone. They can help you set that up, and do your research beforehand. Make sure you know where you want to go and how you're going to get there. Make sure your layovers work and you're not going to miss anything. Quick note, Amtrak customer service is like 50-50. Sometimes you're going to get somebody who is insanely helpful, like this woman was, and sometimes you're going to get somebody who's less than helpful, we'll say. And there seems to be no middle ground. It's either someone's going to be amazing or someone's not. So if you get somebody who's maybe not so helpful, say thank you, hang up, call back another time. Now, everybody on board has been incredible. So onboard your service is going to be phenomenal. So don't sweat that at all. But you have 15 days to complete your travel. My last train is going to be getting back to Nebraska at like 10:55 p.m. on day 15. You have to finish every bit of your travel before that 15th day is over. So I asked them, what happens if the train gets delayed? It's Amtrak, delays are going to happen, it's part of life. Obviously that does not affect me. If it's late, it's their fault, that doesn't hurt me one bit. So I may be getting in early on day 16, it's not going to affect me at all. Now if you plan that incorrectly and you end up getting into day 16, you have to pay the extra for that. And then usually, I'm sure that'd stop you on the phone if you're doing that calling on the phone. So another issue I had, I live in a smaller town that doesn't really have a manned station. Can the rail pass be mailed to you? No, it cannot. You have to go pick it up from a manned station. This was a little bit of a tricky bit for me. Luckily, I have family in a city with a manned station, so I was able to go spend the night there and do all that. But you need to work that out yourself. If you live in a city with a manned station, no problem. Can your tickets be mailed to you? No. No, they can't be. And that was, again, was an issue. But luckily, since I had everything all done in one shot, I was able to pick everything up at once. They have the Amtrak self-serve kiosks. I think you might be able to use that for your tickets, not for the rail pass tickets, I think. And I'm not sure about that. I didn't do it. When you do want to pick up your stuff, you have to go tell them a date and time, specifically when. And you have to pick it up on that date. Again, you might be able to do it differently with the kiosks, but because I have a rail pass, I had to be very specific about the time. So the other question is, can you reserve your trip before you have rail passes? And I wasn't sure about that, but yes, I didn't physically have a rail pass in hand, but the woman on the phone helped me get everything all set up. So I'm not sure what the typical way to do it is, but that worked for me. Again, try your luck with customer service. It's 50-50. But a note about connections too. When you're planning your trip, making sure everything works, leave yourself plenty of time between when you arrive and when you depart to your next city. My first train to California Zephyr was 8 hours behind schedule. Now, luckily, I left myself 24 hours in Chicago. Was an issue, but a lot of people on that train had some problems. I think I might have mentioned that back a few videos ago. But leave yourself, I'd say, at least a day. If you really want to enjoy the city, give yourself at least a day, but minimum 5 to 6 hours over. And they'll try to help you out, I think, if you miss a connection. But otherwise, that's it. A little bit about rail passes. Hopefully this is helpful for you. Now we go back to my seat, wait for my dinner reservation, and Glacier National Park is coming up soon. So I think I swung up where I've got dinner reservations during Glacier National Park, so I'll be able to eat while looking out the window and hopefully see some cool stuff. I do see behind me it's a lot of food. So we get intermittent mountains, but there'll be more of that as we go along. So anyway. The other great thing is I'm 6'3". There's this much space here between the head and the ceiling. So trains are made for tall people. Time for dinner reservations. Head back up to the dining car. if you're riding the Empire Builder going west on the second day, get a 6:45 dinner reservation, because then you're sitting having dinner right when you get to Glacier National Park, and that was just amazing. It really was. Beautiful country, the mountains. That 3 hours, I think, is the reason why I booked this trip, like on this route, because I wanted to see all that. So definitely worth it. Then I went and sat in the observation car for a couple hours. I got video there. It's not going to do it justice. Then I got wrapped into to an Uno game with this cool couple next to me that we just sat and just talked for a while and looked at the scenery, stopped, took pictures every chance we could. But it was just an amazing 3 hours. Everything is dark now upstairs, which is why I'm back downstairs again. It's quiet hours again. I think it's 10:30. About to be 9:30. We're getting the time zone again. Just a great night overall. I'm going to go to sleep. Tomorrow morning I get up and get everything packed up, and then I think 10:25 is when we're due to be in Seattle. And then from there we'll go to Seattle. So good night. We'll see you all in the morning. From the Empire Builder. It's still quiet hours, so I'm downstairs again talking quietly. But we are just outside of Leavenworth, Washington. It's gotten very, very clean. We've got about 3 or 4 hours till we get to Seattle. There is no observation car anymore. The Empire Builder splits in half overnight in Spokane. My half of the train is going north to Seattle. The other half is going south to Portland. There's kind of a fork in it. It was kind of funny because people I was playing Uno with last night are going to Portland, and so when we said bye, it was like, well, bye, because I won't see you in the morning because you're gone. So now I'm suddenly in the last car of the train. So because of that, all we have is the dining car, which means I guess for breakfast I can go into the dining car. I was going to try it out anyways, but it works out. Like now there's no option to go sit in the observation car, meaning I got to be down here probably to talk somewhere. I don't want to wake people up yet. That's 46 hours on the Empire Builder. We're actually a little bit early to Seattle, which is crazy for Amtrak. So, plan was to meet my brother and go see Seattle in a day. Thanks for watching. We'll have more stuff about Seattle in the next video. We'll talk about Amtrak on a couple videos when I hit the coast or the Starlight. So here's Seattle.